The audio text hasn't been added yet.
There we go. See what's in there now.
Huh.
I hope so.
And then still,
There we go.
All right.
All right.
Sweet.
There we go. We got the
We are
sound back
back.
on. Let's turn the volume up a little bit on the mic.
All right.
There we go.
Awesome.
All right. For you, for those of you guys watching the stream, if you can put a 1 in the chat or let us know in the chat if the sound is working. I believe it is, but let's just see
Yeah.
if anybody's in here.
We are. Yep. We are good.
There we go. All right. Thank you,
All
Brooks.
right.
Appreciate
Sorry about
that.
people, but these things do happen live. But we are back.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
All right. We can hide that. There we go. Very weird. Not sure why that happened, but all right. Now we can share. Now, let's hope this actually works. Nope.
Great.
All right, we're gonna have to.
Oh, we got the sound working now.
Yeah, we got the sound working, but not the actual app stuff. Seems to be. Nope. All right, guys, we're gonna come back on in just a minute. We're gonna figure this issue out. We'll be back. Hopefully, this works.
That's not even responding. Period.
There we go.
Right.
Technical issues. All right, we're gonna have to do a hard reset.
I'm cursed.
Okay, now we should have sound. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. All right, folks.
Sweet.
Sorry about that. That was
right.
we actually had to somehow we restarted the computer and it was still on live stream.
Hey.
All right, so we're good now. All right. Let me just make sure you guys can see this screen as well. That way we can get a handle on everything here.
Looks good.
Yeah, definitely looks like everything's good.
All right.
Okay. So now we want day 2. Let me turn off all the stuff that we don't need.
Looks good.
Let's go to single site radar quickly. We'll go somewhere up in Canada. All right, there we go.
All right, we are back in business.
Now, if I put you can see that, right?
Oh yeah.
Is this microphone in the way or anything?
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Brooks. Especially thank you for letting us know that everything is good on this side. So yeah, we do have some severe weather coming in for Monday, which will be tomorrow.
Yep.
Which is definitely going to be pretty interesting. So we do have an enhanced risk, as you can see. So in the orange color here, orange shaded region, this is from Baton Rouge down to New Orleans, Gulfport, Mobile, Pensacola, Panama City. Getting in on the action. So we're definitely going to have to watch out. We're actually located in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Yeah, we are streaming out of Pittsburgh at the World Weather Authority studio.
Absolutely. And then we got a slight risk all the way from Apalachicola all the way almost down to a little past Galveston, almost into Bay City, and almost into Corpus Christi there.
Yeah.
Getting the action.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty good. And we have a marginal risk extending from Austin to Dallas, Tyler, Shreveport, Jackson, all the way up through Montgomery as well. And we have a general thunderstorm risk basically in this light green area. This extends all the way up into Kansas, does include Oklahoma City. So DDoS, definitely be on the lookout for the possibility of some storms. Doesn't look like they're going to be severe at the moment, but we'll definitely keep you in the loop of things. Looks like New Mexico isn't going to be in this severe weather outbreak. Whether or not you enjoy thunderstorms or not, Brooks, but yeah, definitely might be good news that it's not in that area, especially with some of these interesting values coming in as well.
Oh, yeah.
Wish I could make this a little bit bigger, but that's okay. All right. Oh, yeah, D's awesome. Definitely. His content is, especially just over the past couple weeks, I mean, it's fantastic.
I need to get into the game. I need to catch up with
y'all. So we do have severe thunderstorms capable of strong wind gusts and tornadoes are expected from southeast Texas across the central Gulf Coast, and from Monday afternoon into early Tuesday morning. The greatest severe potential is anticipated overnight from southeast Louisiana across southern Mississippi and southern Alabama, and into the western Florida Panhandle as well.
Nice. So what the situation is going on, some shortwave troughs currently extending from Great Basin through the northern Baja Peninsula is forecast to move eastward today while intensifying. By 12Z Monday morning, this shortwave will likely have matured into a mid-latitude cyclone centered over northeast New Mexico with an extensive belt and strong mid-level throw through its southern periphery. The cyclone is expected to evolve eastward across the Texas Panhandle and Oklahoma throughout the day, with mid-level flow strengthening considerably through its eastern periphery. By Monday evening, 1,000 knots at 500 millibars likely stretch from the Edwards Plateau into the Ozark Plateau, furthering strengthening as it currently crosses through the Sabine Pass there between Texas and Louisiana. And then we are mid-level flow is anticipated overnight as Monday and the cyclone tracks a little more northeastward, ending the period over western. Is that Missouri?
Yep.
Hey, I know my states. Large area, 50 knots over the southern plains early Monday. This low level jet will shift eastward throughout the day and overnight, while gradually strengthening by early Tuesday morning. 60 knots, 850 millibars flow will cover much of the southeast, with 70 knots possible from northern Mississippi into Middle Tennessee and northern Alabama. There's also going to be a multi-day system, and we'll get back into that later with the Carolina coastline getting impacted by this as well. So we'll get into that later on. But
exactly. And just to break some of that down, some of that terminology is a little bit hard to understand. So we can actually break that down a little bit. So basically, let's take a look at the recent model data here. So this is heading into, this is heading into 7 p.m. Monday. All right, so 4 p.m., definitely looks like we're going to get the showers and thunderstorms. Definitely tapping into the Gulf moisture there. Definitely bringing in some heavy rain, some thunderstorms as well. Actually, some much needed rainfall for the south. But unfortunately, it might be a little too much, especially with the multi-day severe weather event that's ongoing, plus the multiple systems that are going to come through. So that's definitely be very, very interesting. Also, if we just take a look at the 850 millibar, let's see here, just to show you guys. So this shows the cyclonic relative vorticity. This basically shows that the winds are going to be coming up from the south. So it's definitely going to be affecting those very strong dew points down from the Gulf of Mexico up into the region of anticipated severe weather. So it's definitely going to be interesting for sure. We can actually take a look at the wind speeds. Let's see here. It's probably better to look at this. There we go. Just look at that low-level jet as well. So whenever they mention, we'll go back to this rather quickly. All right, so we're talking about 850 millibar flow. We'll cover much of the southeast with 70 knots possible. So that's definitely pretty interesting. So that's basically talking about the low-level jet. The low-level jet is going to be screaming across the area, like you said. It's definitely going to be absolutely screaming across the area. This is going to be around 4 p.m., and this actually looks like it's going to be an evening into a nocturnal event as well for tomorrow. So definitely not good. It's definitely going to be very strong. You can see these winds definitely how tightly packed those isobars are. Not good. Man, we're gonna get some strong winds here too as well.
Sure.
That's actually on Tuesday. But let's take a look at that. There might be some strong winds down here in New Mexico as well. We're gonna have to watch that very carefully. We'll keep an eye out on that for you, Brooks. But you can definitely see 7 p.m. time frame. You can see that low-level jet is definitely tapping in very strongly. We can actually go to the southeast.
How close those bar lines are together.
Yeah, those streamlines are insane for sure.
Definitely lead to some strong winds with how close they are together.
You can see right where that front's going to be. Also, it's going to be tapping into that severe potential with the low-level jet, just bringing in those dew points as well. We can actually take a look at some of those dew points.
They're just going to absorb. That's just going to absorb that moisture like a sponge, and it just rain down upon the. Oh,
sorry, my fault.
That's all good. It's good to sort of just tap into that moisture and absorb it like a sponge, and just rain it down across the Gulf Coast there as well. This coast of Carolina. It's pretty much. That's always what I think about in terms like someone explains like the dew point, like when it comes to storms, it's pretty much like a sponge, and it just rings out, and there's just so much moisture, it just eventually just pours into it.
It's definitely insane. Especially we're talking about January here, folks, and we're looking at 60s and 70-degree dew points.
I think close to a tropical feel that you get mostly during like the classic spring and summer storms that you get.
Exactly.
You just see that fine like arcing line right there where you get that warm Gulf moisture tapping in there.
Yeah, that's insane. And then look at that, just not even a few hours later, the dew points drop down to the 40s, just in the same areas that were just actually back in the 60s. So it's definitely a very strong frontal system for sure. But you can see even down into New Orleans, 67-degree dew points just off the coast down here, 72. We can actually take a look at precipitable water also. This just shows how much water the atmosphere basically can hold or can rain down if it does. But like 1.75 inches of precipitable water, that's pretty heavy.
That is for sure.
That's definitely some pretty heavy precipitation. And as we move forward, you can see some of these values up into the red here. So that's about 2.5 inches or so, possibly precipitable water values. Doesn't mean the actual rainfall. We can actually get into that later, but still, it just shows how much moisture the atmosphere is holding at that particular point. So let's actually go to severe weather. And we can just take a look at, so this is lightning flash density. So it basically gives us insight onto where those storms are going to be located at. So it looks like 1 p.m. They're definitely going to be centered over the Sabine Pass, like you said earlier. And definitely up into the Dallas-Fort Worth areas. We're going to have to watch that carefully.
Definitely want to roll out a couple of pre-funk influence bands there for sure.
Exactly.
Some of those storms can even be more vicious than the actual.
Yeah, some of the prefrontal confluence bands can definitely, like you said, be a lot stronger than the actual storm system itself as well.
Maybe some of these layers later on we can check that. My mind blanked.
No, we can check it.
Oh crap.
The photographs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I blanked on them.
No, that's okay. We can definitely check out the photographs too. But you can see the main line is still at 5 p.m. It's actually still situated over the Sabine Pass area. The storms out ahead of it are just prefrontal confluence bands. We're going to have to watch that carefully. And you can see it's definitely going to be a nocturnal threat as we head into Monday night into Tuesday morning. So this is around 10 p.m. Tomorrow. It definitely looks like the main line situated heading into just to the west of New Orleans. You can see these prefrontal confluence bands offshore. Wouldn't be surprised for some water spouts coming in there.
I want to have to, yeah.
It's definitely going to be pretty insane. Even into central Mississippi as well, we're going to have some of those storms developing here. It's definitely not going to be good, especially with this upward motion, this uplift heading up to the north and northeast. If we just play that back, you can see it actually combines with the main line here. So right along the Alabama coast, even off the Mississippi coast, and as well as into the Florida Panhandle. Wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be some brief spin-ups, possibly a strong tornado or two, definitely developing, especially with that enhanced risk issued by the Storm Prediction Center. So it's going to be very interesting as we move forward. This is actually going to be a late night event. Unfortunately, I will be at work, so that's going to be interesting, but I'll definitely try to come in every once in a while.
Absolutely.
Just to show you guys some radar data. Check out the community tab. Check out the Facebook group page also. If you want to update, if you can, if you want, you can update the group page. I'll probably put that link in here as well.
Absolutely.
Just to show you guys. Let's see here. I know I have it in here somewhere. Okay, move this over just a little bit.
Nice.
There we go. There it is.
Nice.
All right, so we're going to share a link in the chat pretty quickly. Let's see here. There we go.
Perfect.
All right, so if you guys would like to, this is our actual Facebook page where we share, different ideas, different things like that. We've been focused on the snowstorm up here in Pittsburgh as of late. But we could definitely probably update and try to branch out a little bit more.
Absolutely.
I did hear the UK actually got hit by some pretty strong tornadoes the other day.
I did hear that too.
So that's definitely pretty interesting to see. But yeah, that link there is the link to our Facebook page. You can definitely give us a follow there. So that would be pretty sweet. We'll definitely try to keep you updated, even on our community tab on YouTube here as well. We'll definitely be uploading in there just some pictures and things like that, and going into some of the dynamics, or possibly updating on where the actual tornadoes are at the current time, things like that. We'll keep you updated.
Absolutely.
All right, let me see here. There we go. But as we progress into past midnight, so 2 a.m., it still looks like those storms are going strong for sure. Thank you, Brooks. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely thank you for joining. We're definitely it's kind of work in progress now, but we're going to get it up and running. So we did have an older page, but it's actually, I heard the groups are actually a little bit better to present data. So people are actually moving away from Facebook pages just because you kind of have to be friends with the person or the people involved in it
anymore. Yeah.
So now with the groups, you can actually have the general public come into it, which is nice. So Facebook is definitely good. It's definitely getting into, at least with the group pages, it's definitely
getting better, more organized with that.
So that's definitely good. Let me just make sure everything's good. There we go. All right. Yeah, definitely a nocturnal event. We can definitely talk about tomorrow as well. Tuesday as well, to get into some of the data here coming in across the southeast and along the coastal regions here. Let's see. We can go to pivotal weather.
Okay.
There we go. Oops. Forecasts. Oops. Models. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
My fault on that. All right. So let's actually take a look at some of this. Let's go down towards New Orleans. There we go.
Severe there.
All right, so this data is this is from Pivotal Weather. This shows the sounding, the QT data. It also gives the photographs, which is, we'll definitely go into depth what photographs are, and we'll go into the possible hazard type. So QT basically shows temperature, like on a graph, so that we can actually, meteorologists can actually visualize what's going on in the atmosphere. Gives us values of CAPE, so right between this white line and the red line here. So this value is definitely where the CAPE is going to be. This value here, this 164 meters squared per second squared, that is the storm relative helicity. So the higher the values of that, definitely the higher values and chances that we have the potential for tornadoes and mesocyclones for developing as well. It definitely looks like the Cape values are going to be a little bit low, somewhat before the storms actually come in. So we're looking at forecast of 426 joules per kilogram. And it does look like convective inhibition is at almost 500, so 454. So there is a cap across the area, so we're gonna have to watch that very carefully. But once that cap breaks, it's definitely, unfortunately,
it's fair game.
Yeah, it's fair game for sure.
Then values of like also SRH values and shear is definitely a thing that storms definitely need. Unlike a hurricane where shear destroys that storm, shear is what a tornado needs to actually feed off of and can eventually. So right now, also with the SRH values, depending on, you don't need specifically high SRH values, but the higher they are, the more likely you will get a tornado. For example, the El Reno ones, one of the more higher ones we saw, that was over.
That was
1200. That was
that was I think it was like 388, I believe 388 for the SRH or 400 maybe.
Possibly, yeah.
I think it was in the upper 300s, I believe.
Sure.
The Cape values were insane. They were over like 5,000, 6,000 joules per kilogram, which is absolutely insane. Yeah. Just to show you, I might be able to bring in something here. Let's see. Try to bring in something here real quick. There we go. That's what we wanted. So if we just bring this over just on stream. So this is from the weather prediction website. This is actually a pretty good website if you want to learn about various meteorological terms, things like that. Right over here on the left-hand side, you can see operational significance of Cape. So you can see 1 to 1500 is positive, 1500 to 2500 is large, and 2500 plus is extreme. So there might be some extreme values here. It's definitely be interesting.
And depending on how much it feeds off the Gulf moisture, definitely could put a play on it.
Exactly. So just to let you guys know, so CAPE basically means stands for convective available potential energy. It is the integration of positive area on a QT sounding. Which is definitely pretty interesting to talk about. So we can see that actually right in this region here, between the white dashed line and the red line there, that is areas of positive CAPE.
And with storms like these, like with winter storms, they have a lot of energy when it comes to them.
They do.
So definitely the energy is going to be there for sure.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to the storm, like trying to feed off it. So.
Exactly. And you can also see this photograph over here, which is definitely pretty interesting. So you basically want to look at this curvature shape. You also want to look at 0 to 1 kilometer curvature. That basically gives you the amount of wind shear, which is the change of direction with height in the atmosphere. So 0 means at the surface, 1 kilometer, obviously that means 1 kilometer up in the atmosphere. So that's about 0.62 miles or so up in the atmosphere. And it does look like it has a nice ventilation rate as well. So 6 kilometers and above, if you see this tail off like that, storms definitely need to ventilate. So basically it's like a breathing situation like us. You know, when you breathe in and out, that's our ventilation rate. So it's definitely pretty neat. And then the possible hazard type for New Orleans at this time is marginal severe. So we're going to have to watch that carefully. We can actually step this forward a little bit. And there we go. These are just prefrontal confluence bands as well. Ooh. See, there's still a cap. There's still a cap also. So 18Z, that's about, I want to say that's, let me make sure I'm right on that. Yep. Okay. So 12 p.m. Okay. So right around 12 p.m. tomorrow, we're going to see these values. Definitely, I mean, the Cape values are forecast to go to 443. A little bit of a downgrade there. It definitely looks like it's becoming more of a compact Cape situation. And it looks like the SRH values do decrease. But these are with the prefrontal confluence bands, so we're going to have to watch that. It does look like the 0 to 1 kilometer shear definitely elongates a little bit more and a little bit more curvature, but it looks like the ventilation rate goes down slightly.
There, yeah.
So that's definitely pretty interesting. Non-supercell, basically non-supercell data here. Let's actually move forward. There we go. So this is basically right at the time the front comes through. If it looks like the SRH values go to 346. So it could possibly be a brief spin up as that frontal system comes through. That could be indicative of a bow echo situation where the bookend vortices form. So maybe a couple brief spin-ups. Nothing too crazy, it looks like, for New Orleans. Definitely some severe weather. So dark waters, if you are listening, definitely be careful out there. Definitely want to give you the up-to-date data there.
Absolutely. Also, look at the storm slinging for a moment here. There's also, that's for the direction of like the storm is going to, and you have to have a specific angle in order to get the higher the angle, the closer the angle it is to 90 degrees.
90 degrees, yep.
You'll have more of a chance for that severe weather, a tornado possibly forming. But right now, we're looking only at 68 degrees. That looks like a angle, so definitely.
It looks like the storms are coming from the southwest, and then transitioning off to the southeast, basically there. So basically, yeah, looks like they're coming from the southwest. It's just indicative of that. And then it looks like there might be a curvature there heading off to the east, which is basically what happens with these severe weather event situations. So if we step back a little bit, there we go. Just curious. I want to look at, I guess we can go into Shreveport. Yeah, we're basically with the same thing. Looks like there is a big cap over the area, but that photograph is very, very interesting.
Yes.
It's very curved. 0 to 1 kilometer, definitely very good. It looks like 60 knots. So 0 to 1 kilometer shear, 60 knots. It's pretty strong for some storms.
Absolutely.
67 degree storm slinky there. So definitely looks like the storms are coming up from the south and then eventually heading off to the northeast. So definitely could be some spin in there.
For sure.
Especially with down towards New Orleans, you see the storms coming up from the southwest and then heading off into an eastward component.
Yeah, looks like there's not much of a cap as well in the Shreveport area.
Definitely looks like 499 forecast Cape later. Possibly even maybe -8 convective inhibition values. So that's actually shown down here. Precipitable water 1.2. Definitely looks like definitely a lot of rain coming in. But you can see these temperatures are in the 50s. So that's kind of what's inhibiting some of this severe weather. But yeah, I mean, it's possible. There's marginal severe. So definitely a rumble with thunder or 2 is not going to be out of the question for Shreveport. But if we head actually off into, we can head down towards, let's see, Gulfport there.
Sundown for them.
Yeah, until these actually the storms actually come in.
There we go. So way much severe for them as well.
Surprised, no Cape values except forecast of 338. So I mean, the Cape is very low, but the SRH values are 145 to maybe 346 in that range. So there's definitely a possibility for some tornadoes definitely to develop. I'm kind of wondering if the SPC is kind of with the enhanced risk. I mean, it's a good thing, but I wonder if they should move the enhanced risk further east.
Possibly, yeah, because we saw a little bit of it during the on Tuesday's synopsis there. So.
Yeah, they should probably include this over here. Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. Even up in towards central Mississippi as well. It doesn't look like a major severe weather event on Monday, but there's definitely that potential. Just to show you guys just how much energy is actually included in some of these cells. Let's see. So there is a cap up there, but that's usually expected. Let's see. The photograph is definitely all over the place. But you can see that curvature, so there's definitely a lot of energy for sure. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Let's see. We can actually go.
I wonder if the HRRR model will be out for this now.
Maybe. Yeah, we can definitely take a look at that.
So that might show a different.
Oh yeah, there's this prefrontal. It's definitely picking up on the prefrontal confluence bands for sure. Let's actually zoom in so we can actually get a better handle on everything here. Yeah, you can see those prefrontal confluence bands coming in for sure.
They're still clear.
Even down towards New Orleans. Not too much. 703 Cape, so let's actually go forward a little bit. Let's go forward 2 hours in time, so the Cape should come up. There it is. There's the marginal values there.
Seems like it's showing some more kinks there, and then
yeah, there's definitely a lot of kinks.
And the mega readings there are starting to get, so that might inhibit some tornado race there. Definitely could be a wind event for sure.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be a windbag event.
I see a possible downburst, some straight line wind gusts for sure, not out of the question.
Kind of want to go local. Let's see. Yeah, so this is around 4 p.m. So let's actually go to 6 p.m. here. Yeah, I mean, that photograph is nice. This is basically the typical photograph that you would want to see during a tornadic situation. But these omega values are definitely going to be limiting
Looks like we got a little bit of an elevated mix layer in the higher parts of the atmosphere there.
Yeah. Wow. Nice.
Huh.
I like it.
Nice.
Yeah, so marginal severe is around 6 p.m. Let's actually go into 7 p.m. It does look like the storms are up to the north, a little bit of New Orleans. Let's actually check that out. 365 for the SRH values. So storm relative felicity. So we're going to have to watch that carefully. Definitely looks like severe storms up to the north of New Orleans. Right around 7 p.m. Let's head on into 8. Looks like the main line is still back over Lake Charles. Yeah. So I got Lake Charles, 1,506 joules per kilogram. Forecast to go to 3,220. We'll see if that comes to fruition or not. It's pretty neat, actually. Mm-hmm. Severe storms. Photograph's not very kinked. Ventilation rate's very good. So if you live in Lake Charles area, we're going to look out for severe storms tomorrow at 8. Let's see here.
That'll do a good job.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe do you think it'll pick it up better on there?
Maybe.
Like if you have the, I don't know, be interesting. All right, so it does look like later in time. So this would be right around 9 p.m. We're gonna have to watch as the main line comes into New Orleans. Let's see when it actually crosses the area. I believe it's gonna happen. Yeah, it's gonna happen right around 2 a.m. So let's look at midnight. Definitely looks like the dew points are up to 68, which is very interesting. So definitely we have that moisture, a lot of moisture actually in the atmosphere. We have 384 SRH values. So that's very good. 1,592 joules per kilogram. So we're going to have to watch the tornado potential between midnight and 2 a.m. Across the southeastern Louisiana area, including New Orleans, down through Houma, all the way up through West Gulfport down here into Mississippi as well. We could take a look at what's going on there. 483 SRH values for Gulfport. Wow. Nothing.
I got some county.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, same. I'm definitely trying to. I don't speak very good Spanish at all, but I can see the 40 to 45 mile per hour winds there.
Is that in Louisiana by chance? I think that might be Louisiana.
Not National Weather Service there. Does look like the coastal areas, right?
Yeah, I guess they're talking about
Louisiana.
A possible tornado warning, might be a flood area, especially. So definitely.
I can definitely see some flood areas happening there.
Exactly. I think he's talking about a possible tornado chance. So look up the county he's talking about. It is in Louisiana, so.
I mean, the tornado chance is definitely there.
Oh.
So we're gonna have to watch that carefully.
Maybe the SRS is on not the SRS. Wow. HRR.
Yeah, the HRR. So this is actually 1 a.m. So right after midnight, we're gonna have to watch the area between New Orleans down through.
County, that'd be a parish.
Yeah, they would have. Yeah, they would be a parish. I'm curious. Let's go to the HRR model. Let's see. So yeah, it's not going to go out as far. We can go to the North American model.
Oh, I guess I'll do that.
See, North American model. I don't know. Sometimes they're good. All right, so we do have those omega values coming in. This is right around 1 a.m. tomorrow, down towards New Orleans. We're going to have to watch this carefully. It's definitely going to be a lot of strong winds coming in. 384 SRH values and a 70-degree temperature with 68-degree dew point. Definitely a lot coming in.
Looks like they're saying something about a strong wind watch.
Yeah.
Nice, I can see that.
We can actually pull that up. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Let's actually take away data here. Let's actually go into.
Sale, mi español es muy poquito.
Let's see. I wonder. Let's turn on the weather. There we go. We do have coastal flood watches, coastal flood advisories. Yeah, we do have the flood watch coming in. So yeah, that's pretty interesting there.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have flood caused by excessive rainfall continues to be possible. So there's definitely systems coming in there. Let's actually take a look at the radar. Yeah, it looks like it's moved on. Yeah, it looks like there was a couple bands coming in there. Went off to the south. I wonder if I can pull up HRRR on here.
Appreciate you as well, Brooks, for sure.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to translate that for the mix.
My Spanish is no good. I can tell you that. It's definitely no good for sure. This is only go to about 4 a.m. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be nasty. Look at that tomorrow.
Oof.
Look at that line.
Wow.
These prefrontal confluence bands are going to be very crazy.
I just don't like Google Translate when it comes to that.
Oh,
there.
Strong wind watch. But also, yeah, those 65 mile per hour winds can definitely be pretty strong. Let me see if I can do this on. Seven o'clock flooding across the beaches. Yeah, north Louisiana. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's definitely be some flooding across Louisiana for sure. You could just take a look at the actual data coming in. So this is right around 3 p.m. So that's not good. That's actually tomorrow. So you can definitely see some of these prefrontal confluence bands are going to be strong, but this main line might actually be even stronger, especially across the New Orleans area up towards, looks like the 55 and 59 corridors here up towards Franklinton, Hammond, Mandeville, Slidell. But as it comes into New Orleans, we're going to have to watch this.
Then eventually into Mississippi there.
Yeah.
And Mobile.
Gulfport, Mobile, Pensacola as well. Looks like there's two lines definitely coming in. It does a lot. Rainfall's model says it's already going to rain a lot, but it is not rolled out that hail special coverage port increasingly severe. These warnings are gone. They are into the there's definitely going to be a lot of rain coming in for sure.
Especially possibly hail in the background, especially with depending on how quick the cooling is in the atmosphere, could definitely have some hail mixed in there as well.
Yeah. I mean, look at these precipitation values coming in as well. Jeez. I think that's overestimating it, but
maybe a little bit there.
Alerts right now and maritime warnings. Yeah, I don't see any high wind watches at the moment.
Depending on his location.
Yeah. Coastal flood watches. Yeah, there's a bunch of coastal flood watches here.
I might use. That's verified, so I can save this. I might use a.
All right, let me see here. We can look up the wind speed as well. And it's definitely going to be strong. Let's see here. Yeah, significant tornado parameter is going to be up along the coast for sure.
Wow.
This is right around 11 p.m. through about 1 a.m. here. Significant tornado parameter. So, yeah, I mean, there's 3s. Right off the coast, though, there's 5s and 6s. So we're going to have to watch. There's definitely some water spouts down there.
Some of the islands there, maybe.
Yeah. Down here towards Burris and Port Sulphur, Grand Isle as well. It definitely looks like it's going to be a possible tornadic event.
Then stretching into Pensacola, there. Even Baton Rouge will definitely get into the.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Baton Rouge is going to get. That's going to be a 7. 7 in the area of Baton Rouge.
Wow.
Let's see. Let's look at the supercell. Yeah, supercell composites of 37. That's high.
That is high.
That's actually very high. Let's see. Surface-based Cape as well. Yeah, 1400, 1500. It's certainly possible. 1600 joules per kilogram coming into western New Orleans. I mean, if I was to say, I'd probably give it probably a 4 or 5 on a Torcon scale, if I had to say so.
That's still a big time.
Yeah. Yeah, I would
definitely see some rain wrap potential for sure. Most of these, a lot of rain is going to be involved in this.
I still think this area is going to be these kinks in this line are going to be definitely prominent in creating those bookend vortices. So basically, it's like a bow echo coming in.
Absolutely.
So it's like you have this coming in, but you have winds, strong winds coming in. But these winds are going to circulate around this way and circulate around that way.
So definitely Thibodeau might be depending on your.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch that because it definitely looks like a circulation could form here. This would be more anticyclonic up to the north. So New Orleans could get in on the action maybe, but it's kind of difficult. It's going to be very difficult to say.
Mm-hmm. Definitely going to be a big rain event for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
There's definitely going to be some weather impacting for sure, definitely.
I mean, this extends all the way up to the north as well.
Mm-hmm.
This extends all the way up into, let me actually go to precipitation type. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be all rain all the way up into like Springfield, even up to Indianapolis as well. There's going to be some mixing.
There in the Smoky Mountains.
Yeah.
Highest elevations there, probably.
I mean, that's going to be a lot of rain for sure. All these blizzard warnings.
Big snow event too, and then you just got the next system coming in right after that.
Yeah, you can see it materialize.
Mm-hmm. And this is still an event going into Tuesday as well. This is definitely a multi-day event, like we said.
Look at that line.
Good Lord.
It's definitely holding strong for sure. Definitely across Florida Panhandle. It's definitely not going to be anything to play with. Hopefully, the storm chasers out there, hopefully they heed the warnings.
Exactly.
That are definitely. I wish we can go out.
Big time.
I would love to be out here storm chasing.
Grandparents might get a good view there. Oh wow. Definitely a potential wind event here. So this is the coast of South Carolina here. So what you're looking at is the Grand Strand area, the Big Bend of Carolinas here, going from Conway there, just to the north of the PD area. But PD is pretty much the PD River. That's what the area is called, mainly for the PD area. There's also going into Georgetown here. This is the Gullah region as well. Just for location like outings, and then like it's got some Garden City there, definitely be on the impact there. So these areas are prone to minor flooding. So definitely when you're closer to the ocean there's more to come to flooding. So definitely want to be able to go for minor flooding there in Burroughs Inlet, Pawleys Island, Garden City, definitely those areas. It's probably expected 2 to 4 inches of rain. Definitely some minor flooding there, especially along the coast there. We're out of potential tornado in that area as well. So.
Yeah, there's definitely possible.
And winds are definitely going to be a big event there. Some 50, 60 mile an hour gusts aren't out of the question there.
Curious, I actually want to go into. Let's turn these off real quick. Yeah, it's interesting for sure.
I think they added that enhancer.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is looking into Tuesday. This is this is an enhanced risk of severe weather over the Florida Panhandle, southeast Alabama, and also southwest Georgia. Dependent for increased severe probabilities over the Florida Panhandle, southeast Alabama, and southwest Georgia. Strong severe thunderstorms may impact much of the eastern Gulf and southern Atlantic coast states Tuesday. Accompanied the risk of damaging winds and tornadoes aren't out of the question.
Yeah. Yes, it's definitely not good. And definitely, as they say, it is going to be a fast-moving, well-organized convective line. So it's definitely nothing to play with. Probably 65, 70 mile per hour movement at least.
Absolutely. I can see that.
So it's definitely good. Large, low looping, low-level photographs indicate there's a possibility for line-embedded QLCS tornadoes, so bookend vortices, things like that. QLCS, quasi-linear convective system, same thing as a squall line. That we were showing you guys. With the mid-latitude cyclones displacing north, relatively warm, mild temperatures downstream across northern Florida and southern Georgia are currently expected to lead some decrease in intensity of line as it continues eastward, and we've seen that. So let's actually go back. Yeah, it definitely looks like it does weaken as it goes offshore, but it looks like the northern periphery actually gets a little bit stronger.
It does.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's definitely not going to be a good situation for sure. And we can actually turn on.
Even in our area, we've got a lot of heavy rain in our.
Yeah. The thing that's going to be really bad is going to be this wraparound.
Exactly. You can look to that there. It's definitely
you can see
a quick
this
transition
strong
from rain to snow can definitely lead to a flash freeze, which is pretty much like a quick transition from warm air to cold air in just a matter of time. And any roads that are untreated is definitely going to come to possible ice. Could be especially untreated roads.
Yeah, so GFS saying by the 13th. Let me see here. I'm just curious to see this first system. So yeah, by the 9th, we're gonna get a lot of heavy rain. Looks like it is gonna start out as snow in the Pittsburgh area. Possibly some mixing there. And then it looks like it's definitely gonna transition into rain. And then that wraparound snow on the backside. That's gonna be interesting. Let's see if the European model is saying the same. I don't think the European model has composite. No, they don't.
And then get your act together, European model.
We can look at that on Weatherbell.
Yeah.
It's just for some reason, in Radar Omega, it doesn't seem. Oof.
It starts off as a mix in some areas.
Yeah, so this is for the Pittsburgh area. It definitely looks like it's going to be a mix. Definitely some rain, possibly some snow mixing in there. Eventually 10 a.m. So the morning commute may be impacted. That's 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. commute.
Absolutely.
And then, unfortunately, as we go into the next day, we got that wraparound snow on the backside. It's not good. It definitely looks like the snow lingers for a while, too.
It does.
Let's see here. Doesn't really look like much in the way of snowfall for the Pittsburgh area. All 0 to none, basically, unless you get up towards the actual city, about a half an inch of snow. Then, of course, in the ridges and up to the north.
And still a half an inch can still cause problems out there for sure.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not going to be good. This is the snow that I'm going to be worried about.
No down Omaha,
yeah. This snow is going to be insane.
Oh, there's
that's
what she was saying earlier on the stream. They got another 4 inches there as well.
Yeah, so Brooks looks like by January 10th, so in 3 days, looks like you're going to get about up to 5 inches of snow possible.
She nailed that.
So so definitely be on the lookout for that. So if you do come back in, watch the stream later, definitely be on the lookout for that for sure. Looks like the Cascades are getting hit.
Wow.
51 inches of snow. Surprisingly, the Sierra Nevadas really aren't getting hit the southern Sierra Nevadas, but it looks like they're
the main areas of Lake Tahoe.
Yeah. So it's definitely interesting. Well, let's see. Yeah, PDS tornado warning.
That's never good.
Let's actually head over into Mississippi as well as the system progresses a little bit. So let's take a look at Montgomery. Marginal severe for Montgomery later on in the period. So this is actually 3 a.m. Tuesday. Definitely looking at some pretty kinked photographs. Definitely looks like
strong elevated mix layer.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Probably some winds coming in. It really doesn't look like it's going to be much of a severe weather event. It's possible. Definitely some rumbles of thunder, lightning, definitely flash flooding, things like that. Let's see. Curious.
I'm actually going to be right back.
Sounds good. Definitely looks like around the coastal regions is where you're going to find probably the greatest potential for tornadic development here as those water spouts do come inland. So we're going to have to watch that very carefully as we head forward. Let's take a look at the European model here. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at a lot of rainfall for sure. This is actually through Tuesday, 3 a.m. Looks like the coastal regions are going to get hit pretty hard. Let's actually go down. Let's go regional here. Oops. Let's go to regional. Yeah, so definitely not good. Definitely up to 3 inches of rainfall along the coast here, down through the Florida Panhandle, southern Alabama, down through Mississippi as well. Central Mississippi getting up to an inch of precipitation. Definitely looks like certain areas of southern Mississippi, south central Mississippi getting on the action as well. Right along the coast here of Louisiana. So this is down to the southwest of New Orleans. So west southwest of New Orleans. Definitely could possibly see up to 4 inches of rainfall. So it's definitely going to be nothing to play with. Let's actually go through Thursday. And you can see these rainfall totals here through Georgia, up into South Carolina, even into North Carolina, possibly eclipsing 5 inches of rainfall there. So we're definitely going to have to look out for that. Let's go down into Virginia here. So yeah, so Hickory, North Carolina, down into Asheville, Greenville, South Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, Greensboro, Danville, Roanoke here, Harrisonburg, Charlottesville. Definitely looks like a good swath of 2 to 4 inches, possibly maybe even to 5 inches here. We're going to have to watch that carefully. This is to the south of Greenville. Let's see here. Just curious to go into some of the snowfall totals here in the Pittsburgh area. Definitely looks like about an inch of snowfall. So this is going to be between current and all the way through 7 p.m. on Wednesday. So up to an inch so far. So that's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens here. There's definitely could be some freezing rain possible into Maryland here, down towards the Mason-Dixon line to the south of Somerset. So we're going to have to watch that carefully. So if you're driving out along this area, definitely be on the lookout for some icing. What we're going to have to watch carefully is going to be, let's go to the European model. We're going to have to watch some of these storm systems that are coming in as well. Looks like a nice bowling ball trough coming in just in time for that severe weather event to take place. And it's going to eject off to the northeast. This is by 4 a.m. So let's actually step this back. Let's go through the entire weather of the United States here. So basically 7 p.m. today, it looks like the snow is definitely accumulating here across Arizona, northwest New Mexico, into Colorado, Utah, across Wyoming as well, into Montana. Definitely have a little bit of drizzle taking place out here in Pittsburgh. And it looks like that low pressure is exiting or ejecting off of the coastline here. This is going to head up towards the UK. So we have to check out their weather as well. A couple showers, possibly some rumbles of thunder crossing the Florida peninsula here. This is to the north of Miami, right around the Orlando area. Definitely be on the lookout for some rain there. As we move forward into 7 a.m. tomorrow, looks like Oklahoma, so DDoS, be on the lookout for some drizzle and some light rain across the area. Definitely looks like there's going to be some snow in the Oklahoma Panhandle here, down into the Texas Panhandle, especially also Brooks, be on the lookout for some snowfall tomorrow as well, right around the 7 a.m. hour. And as we keep progressing forward, it does look like that low pressure system is maturing. So right around, let's go to lunchtime or so tomorrow. Definitely looks like there's going to be some prefrontal confluence bands taking place coming up to the coast, right into the New Orleans area. Definitely looks some rain, possibly some embedded thunderstorms up through Dallas area, down through Houston, and up through Shreveport as well into Arkansas. Looks like in the Ozarks, it looks like it's going to be some mix occurring there. And as we head into tomorrow evening, 7 p.m., just breaking down all the weather.
Nice.
See what's going on. Let's actually go back to lunchtime. Definitely looks like another system coming into the Pacific Northwest. Look at Seattle getting some rain. Definitely looks like into the Cascades, some snow as well. And as we head into 7 p.m., looks like much of the same here. We're going to have to watch out for some of this mixing occurring in central Washington, down through Oregon as well, and some rainfall along the coast. And you can definitely see these thunderstorms are going to start getting their act together here down along the Gulf Coast, just to the east of Houston, heading into the New Orleans area and eventually ejecting off. A lot of snow developing here in the Oklahoma Panhandle, Texas Panhandle, up through Kansas, Nebraska, even out into Iowa and northwestern Missouri, and heading into Minnesota and South Dakota as well. Definitely pretty interesting to see.
Absolutely.
If it looks like some light rain across the Florida Peninsula as well. Possibly some snow where you're at, Brooks. So 7 p.m. tomorrow as well. Definitely some light snow. DDoS, maybe some light rain for you as well. So definitely be on the lookout for that. So we head into the morning hours of Tuesday, 7 a.m. Possibly see some mixing happening here in the Pittsburgh area. We're going to have to keep an eye out on that. Definitely the storms are marching across right along the Gulf Coast here. So definitely towards southern Alabama, across the Florida Panhandle here, all the way up through eastern Alabama, through central Georgia, to the Carolinas as well. Into the higher elevations, looks like you're getting some mixed precipitation. It's around 7 a.m., so definitely be careful if you're crossing into North Carolina, into the Virginia area. I believe, I'm trying to think what towns are there. We could probably zoom in a little bit. Let's see. This might be sufficient enough. Maybe. Well, let's actually go back. I kind of like the continental area. Whoops. There we go. All right, so yeah, so that's gonna be right around like Roanoke, Charlottesville, down through possibly even Asheville, getting in on some of this mixed precipitation as well. So that's definitely not going to be good. Definitely some snowfall, up to 10 inches of snowfall here in the higher terrain of West Virginia. So definitely not good. And as we regress this forward, definitely looks like Tuesday is going to be, Tuesday morning at least, is going to be a pretty good washout for the Pittsburgh area. Definitely some rain coming in. So not good. Some snow wrapping around into the Great Lakes. Finally, get some snow there. Definitely looks like this system's getting exactly together across Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, eventually down into Eureka, California, stretching all the way down, basically into central California here, right along the coastal regions. As the system progresses. Definitely the mountainous terrain and up to the north in Pennsylvania, so up near Erie, even Butler County, definitely getting on the action there of some snow. Possibly stretching down maybe into northern Allegheny County. We'll have to watch that carefully as we keep moving forward. But this is definitely stretching across central Ohio, so even Cleveland getting in on the snow action here. Back into Indiana. Definitely some icing occurring in the higher terrain. Definitely not good. And it looks like it transitions back into some rain for the northern counties. How you feeling? Hurting, huh? That sucks. And definitely looks like we have that low pressure system at 982 millibars, so it's definitely pretty good. Definitely strong low pressure system. 4 p.m. looks like the rain. Strongest of the storms are definitely located across Georgia, northwestern South Carolina, and right across western and central North Carolina here. And definitely some snow in the higher elevations of Pennsylvania, heading up into New York, heading up to the Ozarks as well. Right here, Ozarks, and we have Adirondacks up to the north. Looks like northern Illinois up towards Chicago. Be on the lookout for some snow right around 4 p.m. on Tuesday. And as we progress this forward, we get that wraparound snow in the Pittsburgh area. So this is going to start possibly as early as 6 or 7 a.m. on Wednesday. So it could be a small coating. It definitely looks like not much in terms of accumulation, maybe up to an inch in the Pittsburgh area. So it's definitely good news. And it definitely looks like we have a small low pressure system, shortwave heading into the Dakotas, into southern Canada here. 993 low pressure. But it looks like the dominating storm is going to be the one that dips to the south and then eventually makes its way up into the Great Lakes. We're going to have to watch that carefully. This is actually Friday through about Saturday. So Friday 4 p.m. through Saturday 1 p.m. We're going to have to watch that carefully. And unfortunately, it looks like we have another major system coming in. This is pretty far out. This is on the 16th and 17th. But unfortunately, the Gulf Coast isn't really going to be spared in terms of rainfall. Definitely doesn't seem like it. Looks like they're going to get some more rain right around 10 a.m. on Friday. And it looks like, again, possibly some severe storms down here towards Louisiana, southern Louisiana, right around Tuesday the 16th at 1 p.m. This is eventually going to go off the coast here. So even South Carolina getting on the action Wednesday at 7 a.m. Definitely some icing for the Pittsburgh area. Maybe some rain. We'll see what goes on there. But it's definitely not going to be good.
I think I might have to tap on. I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, you're good.
I'm sorry, guys. We're doing for bad tooth break right now.
Yeah, it sucks. Hopefully you're doing all right. If you need anything,
She'll be good.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
I'm sorry, guys.
All right, so heading on into Tuesday, just to give you guys some idea of what's going to happen here with some of the rainfall. Definitely looks like we're going to see about rough 1.5 to 3 inches of rainfall extending along the Gulf Coast regions here and up through the Carolinas down into North Carolina as well, possibly even Southern Virginia getting on the action. But definitely the main concern here is definitely going to be some of this rainfall and the storms that are coming in. So be on the lookout for tornadoes. So basically all hazards are possible. Tornadoes, hail, flash flooding, things like that. Very strong winds. We're going to have to watch out for that for sure. And it definitely looks like the snowfall. The snow is going to be raging across the center of the country here. We could possibly see right around 20 inches of snow in the Kansas area, the northwestern Kansas, and eventually even into northeastern Kansas as well, into northwestern Missouri, down through Iowa, and into northern Illinois as well. Not much in the way of precipitation here, snowfall, probably less than an inch here in the Pittsburgh area, but as you head into the higher terrain, certainly possible they can definitely see up to a foot of snow, possibly even more. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And the next storm system is definitely going to be bringing in some snow across the Chicago area, heading up into Michigan as well. This is going to be right on Saturday, so Friday night into Saturday. And then, unfortunately, the next system is going to bring some more snowfall down here into southern Illinois, down into Indiana. All right, guys, appreciate you guys joining us. Definitely, if you're liking the content, definitely hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Definitely share this video to those that need it the most. And always remember, folks, dominate the storm.